Right, hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. So today we are going to be doing some work on the Fiesta. Now I want to get straight into it because it's a beautiful hot sunny day here in the UK, and as you can see the Fiesta is looking pretty clean. I would say it's not looking too bad. However, it needs some new suspension. Now I was going to go and get some coilovers for the car, however I like my spine, I like to keep my teeth. Putting coilovers on this car is probably not a good idea, seeing as I use it as a daily every single day. That's the dog trying to kill a cat at the minute. So I do think this car sits pretty well as it is at the minute, but the reason I think that is because the rear shock absorbers I think have just lost all sorts of shock. So I think they're basically compressed and they're stuck compressed. We'll see when we take them off anyway. So I've got two new rear shock absorbers here. I've got two new front shock absorbers. I'm going to continue to use the same springs because I'm hoping that it might sit sort of fairly similar. I'm hoping the person who had it before me basically had lowering springs. So I've also bought a set of these as well for the rear. So you've got the rear top hats, if you can see that. So mine are obviously 20 years old in the car. These are quality OE, no, not OEM, but they're sort of quality parts from Quinn and Hazel or something like that. So yeah, I'm going to sort of give the suspension a bit of a refresh in the hope that it handles a little bit nicer. Also as well, what I need to do to the car, on the lower arm, the ball joint's gone. So I think because the suspension is so rotten, it's correct. I've got a new lower arm put on there last year, and that's obviously now gone already. The ball joint's gone, the little rubber mount. So I bought a new one here, but I need to unweld that one, obviously just using a drill and a grinder, and then I can slot the new one in. So I'll show you how to do that. Anyway, I'm going to do the rears first, then the fronts. I'll kind of show you what I need to do, but I mean, there's plenty of tutorials out there anyway on how to do it. So I've jacked the car up, got it on axle stands, and then here you can see a nice bit of rust forming here. So what I'm going to do is clean all this up, and I've got some cure rust that I'm going to sort of treat, and I've got some etch primer just to get all this sort of area. It's all right up here, but it's just looking a bit sorry for itself here. So I'm going to clean all this up, and you can see here, this is the other suspension, and then you've got two 10mm bolts up there. I think they're 10mm anyway. So you've got two 10mm bolts up there. I've taken the carpet out for better access. Then you've got a 19 and a 15 on this side, so I'm going to undo them. I'm not going to film it because it's boring and I've got to set the camera up, but we'll get this one off and we'll see how bad this is. Give this a little bit of a clean up, and then jobs are good on this side. So we'll come back to that in a second. I'll show you what it's kind of looking like. Okay, so we've got the first one off, and not too bad. Just undo the 15mm bolt that's just there. So relatively straightforward, but obviously a bit of a pig. There's a 15mm bolt that holds this bottom bit in. Get that out, and then you undo the two 10mm bolts on the top of this, which is like the top hat. And there's a 13 here, so you undo that. And then I've got new ones of these to replace, so I'm going to get that. I'm going to keep these bump stops. I think I have ordered new ones, but I'm going to keep these and probably return the other ones. However, I'm going to put the camera on the tripod and see if this actually springs in any way. I don't think it does. Yeah, so like I say, that's not the easiest thing to do. I'll show you what it does. I'm going to push it down on the brickwork here and then show you how quickly it springs back up. It's not great, but it still works a little bit. This is it compressed in, and if I let go, see how quickly or how slowly it rebounds back. Probably not terrible, but it's pretty slow. I'll show you the other one. So by the time I basically compress it and bring it back to you, it's done. So they do need changing. They are originals, Monroes as well, which is obviously a good thing. So I'm going to put this one back on the car, and then we'll do the other side. Okay, so I don't normally film both sides. However, I thought I'd show you this side. Now, this is part of the cover, and as you can see there's oil. Well, that could be where I sprayed WD-40 upstairs. However, you can see part of the strut here. So this is meant to be up here, and this looks like a completely different strut to what I've got on the other side. And I've always thought that this side sits lower, so I think this has been replaced at some point in the past, and they obviously haven't done the other side now. So I don't blame people for doing that. However, if you're going to do one side, at least replace the other with the same, because I don't know, my OCD tells me to. And plus, if one side's gone, 9 times out of 10 the other side's gone as well. So we'll get this one off and we'll have a look at this. I'm hoping this one doesn't compress back. It doesn't look like it has. Right, so I'm going to show you what I mean by this. You can see on here this bump stop's been ripped, which is great. I did have ordered new ones of these and the dust covers, but they haven't turned up, so I'm going to replace this back as it is. Obviously I'll change that top hat, which is looking a bit rough, but I think you'll see, look, when I push this down, ready? Push that down, nothing. So I think that's why that side was always sitting lower than the other, because this is basically not, this should sort of compress back. Do it with my hand, look. Should compress back up. However, it's not doing that, so I think this one's buggered. The other side was on its way, so I'm glad I'm replacing both sides, and it always shows you, it's always replace both sides. So I can show you how bad it is. The bump stop It's actually split in there, obviously where it's taking such a force, the bump stop's got stuck in there, so I'll have to push this out if I can. If not, I might have to put this one back together without it, or at least that half anyway, and obviously wait for the new ones. They should have been here last week, but they've not turned up, unless I've left them down there somewhere, but I don't think I have. Anyway, I'll get that back on. I've just done the Cure Rust as well on that side, so I'm going to let that set, Cure Rust the other side, clean it all up, get some etch primer on it, show what it looks like, get these back in, and then start on the front. So I'm really not looking forward to that. I don't even know if you can see me because I've had to move the camera from there because my face was dark. Anyway, this is the new one, so I just want to show you what the rear one does. So if I cut this off, you'll see that this compresses up. Watch, this is what it should do. Right, that's what it should do. Then obviously it compresses down, up, down, up, down. Yeah, the other one down there was just compressing down and staying down. So let's get it changed. Right, so it's actually been a couple of hours because I've actually had a problem with this bolt down here. So basically what's happened is that you've got a 15mm bolt that goes into here. Now these new suspensions are a little bit thicker than what I had before, and for whatever reason this has been crushed. So I think when the person put it on before, they've obviously done this bolt up and it's pushed this side of the metal in, so when you try to put this one in, it had sort of crushed this bit this way. So I've basically had to just sort of do what I can to get it in, but it's all in, it's all working properly. And I've also cleaned up under here, don't know how well it's going to come out, but I've managed to etch primer all of the arch, sort of cleaned it all up as best I could. Just a bit of preventative maintenance really. I will want to do it white, but as you can see, look, the car's got rust spots anyway, so it's not the end of the world. But I've did a bit of preventative maintenance in there. So I'm going to get the wheels back on. I think that's the rear's done, and we should see a slight difference, I guess. This side always seemed a bit higher than the other side, so I'm going to put the wheels back on and drop it down. Obviously give it a couple of days to settle, as people say, but it should look a little bit different, I'm hoping. Now what I've got to do is tackle the fronts and obviously etch primer the other side. Right, so we're quite a few hours late now because obviously you can see it's got a lot darker. I've done all the rears, I've etch primed everything, it looks pretty good. It needs a bit of work obviously, but I'll get around to that at some point. Just wanted to sort of future proof it and sort of get it all rust free as much as possible. I'll take you to the fronts now, which I've just done, as you can see down here. Just to show you how I've done it, you basically take the wheel off, obviously, you take your drop link off, you take this bracket off as well, and then you take the pinch bolt that sits back there, and then you just hammer here and here, here and here, here and here, then it sort of comes off the strut. Some people I see take off this, I haven't. Some people take off everything else, I haven't. I've literally just hit it with a hammer, it's popped down, take the 3 bolts off up the top there somewhere. Needs a bit of rust work here, but I'm not doing that now, that can wait another day. And here's the shock. So obviously I'm going to have to take off my top mount, which is brand new. Then we are going to spring clamp, spring compressor, this, undo it all, take it all apart, and we're replacing this whole strut with a new one. Obviously I'll take off that dust cover as well, and jobs to be a good one. So I'm going to get on with that. I might time lapse it for you, who knows. It takes forever because these things just, I don't know, they're just pain in the bum. So actually what I'll do is I'll just spring compressor it all, and then we'll come back to the new one now. So this is the new front suspension. Obviously this is nice and clean. This is the old spring, which actually turned out to be an IBAC spring somewhere. So as you can see, it's actually an IBAC spring, but the old one was knackered as well. Where is it? So basically this bit here does not move whatsoever. I'll try it on there. Oh, it does, but it don't really spring back. As you can see, I've just compressed it and it's not coming back. So obviously there's a problem with this one, which is why I think one of my lower ball joints went on here, but we'll worry about that another day. I'm going to get this back on now, and obviously I've got to do the other side. So yeah, that's the car done. Annoyingly, the absolute mess that comes with it, and annoyingly the rear of the car is obviously a lot higher now because the springs are fixed. So silver clouds don't always have a silver lining, as they say. But yeah, we'll get this back on now, and then we'll do the other side and we'll see what it looks like. It's going to sit worse, I know it, so I'll probably have to get some lowering springs, but we'll see. Right, as predicted, I did say at the beginning of the video, I think that something has happened, and it has the 15mm bolt that I forgot to take out when trying to hammer it, which is there. has decided to round off, so that has put an end to me doing this. So all I'm going to do, put it back together, not change this side for now. I've just ordered a 15mm bolt extractor because me bolt grips that I've got here, they don't have a 15, it's got a 13 and an 11/16, and the 13 is just too small, so can't use that. So I'm going to tidy everything up, put the wheel back on, drop it back down, take it out for a quick drive just to see what it feels like, and then probably end the video there because the parts are not going to be here for a couple of days. Then I can get this video out, which is rather annoying. I'll take it out for a drive and come back and I'll let you know what it's like. So apologies for this second half of the film. I didn't get to record the footage as good as I wanted to because I didn't have microphones on me. So got to the car, got the bolt out, and as you can see here, it's looking pretty sorry for itself, but the new bolt extractor got it out, which was pretty good. And then basically we just knocked everything out, got it all down, undid the 3 bolts at the top, and then the suspension arm comes out. So when it came out, got the new one, started putting it all back together, got the new dust cover, put it all on. Bit of a pick to do because they don't sit on there properly, and then put everything back together using the spring clamps, get the new top mount on, and then basically get everything back together. Then with this lower arm, what we had to do was grind these 3 bolts out because they're like sort of riveted in. So these 3 bolts here you basically want to grind out, and then you just sort of tap them out with a punch and a hammer. Then you see there, here's a new one, much better, 16 quid, better than buying a whole new arm. As you can see there, it looks old, but it's actually a brand new lower arm. So get the grinder out, safety sandals for my mate, and then just grind it all off, get to work, give it a lick of paint, and job's a good one. So you can probably tell that this video was filmed in the summertime. It's now, what, January, and it's freezing cold out. So this is the last video that I recorded, and I've not done much work to the Fiesta since. However, it's been here for MOT, it's got a couple of leaks, so they're going to get sorted out, and I'll explain those in the next video. Also got a brand new camera as well, so the old camera's now gone, and hopefully the new camera will give us some decent quality. Anyway, as I always say, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Either way, I don't care. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing to it. And I'll catch you in the next one.